Hey friends, this is Kat and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought of doing something new wherein I will try to share with you my January reads while I am packing my recent book orders. So in case you don't know, I unhaul books from time to time and I sell it on my selling page, which is at unhauledbooks on Instagram. So there are still a few books right now that are up for grabs. So if you are interested, you can just check it out. So the link is in the description box. Anyway, before we go to my wrap up, I also just want to share that I reuse old packaging materials from my previous parcels, so you will definitely see that in this video. I will be using used box, plastic, and bubble wrap, and I also tried to pack my orders in a way that it can still be recycled and reused by my customers because we support eco-friendly and sustainable consumerism. So yeah, let's get started, shall we? For the year of 2022, I have set myself to read at least one book a month. I think it's a realistic yet motivating goal for someone who just went back from a 4-month long reading slump. Hence, I kinda surprised myself by reading 3 books in January. So, my first read of the year was the third and final book in one of my favorite thriller series. I love this series so much. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. It is called As Good as Dead. As being the last of the series, I can't really tell you what the book is going to be about. But basically, the first book follows Pipa Fitz-Amobi or Pip as she tries to investigate a closed murder case that happened in her town 5 years ago. In the next books, Pip will uncover cases that are different from the first one but are still connected to it somehow. So as I finish the series, I therefore conclude that the first one is definitely my favorite and the third one is my least favorite, unfortunately. Not to say that this book is not good, but I have issues about this that I'm going to talk about later. So let's go first with the things that I really liked about this one in particular. First off, I think that Holly Jackson really did a great job in writing the whole series because this book was as gripping and as addicting as the first 2 books. It has the ability to make you forget your reality and surroundings, and I just really love that feeling or that experience. I also loved how non-linear Pip's character was as a protagonist, and if you know me in the past years, I love characters that are flawed and very realistically human. Aside from that, the dynamics between the characters still felt genuine and it's still the same from the previous books. It's very natural and nothing seemed forced. Lastly, I just love how this book doesn't steer away from highlighting women who are being gaslighted by men, of course, and fighting for women's rights against harassment and assault. With that, please beware of the trigger warnings in this book, and I'm going to put some of them in the description box, so please check it out. Now, moving on to the things that I kinda dislike about it. First and foremost, it's the structure of the story. This is the kind of unpredictable plot or plot twist that didn't work for me because I think that the transition wasn't as smooth as it should be. The story literally went from A Good Girl's Guide to Murder to How to Get Away with Murder real quick, if you know what I mean. Admittedly, it was a good what the fuck kind of twist, but I just felt like the shift was abrupt and it was not natural at all. So in the second half of the book, it also felt like I was watching a ridiculously unrealistic show like Pretty Little Liars or Riverdale. And although I was addicted to those kind of shit back in the day, I know that it just doesn't feel right or realistic at all. And to make it worse, the conclusion of this whole series was very anticlimactic and I honestly didn't like it. Like, I don't like it. So yeah. But anyway, moving on to my next read, I have finally finished this book that I started last year, and I had to read it again from the beginning because I somehow forgot about the details of the story. So it is Shine by Gourlay. This book that is written by a Filipino author is a YA contemporary that follows the story of Rosa, who is a young girl that lives in this mysterious small island called Mirasol, where people are very superstitious. That's a red flag. Rosa suffers from a rare medical condition that forced her to stay at home with her father and her nanny all throughout her life. However, things will get strange and exciting once she meets an anonymous person online named Ansel96. So, the first thing that you should know about this book is that it's not a light read. It's not, okay? There are a few trigger warnings that I will leave on the description box, so please check that out. So anyway, with this one, I could definitely say that I enjoyed reading this book a lot. I love Rosa as a main character, and I love following her thoughts and living through her. Like, she warmed my heart so many times that I almost tear up. It also contributes to the fact that the writing was really, really beautiful with all these metaphors, and there's like a touch of whimsy and magic in it. But also, I like the alternating timeline of the past and the present and how it just intertwined naturally later in the story. Personally, I think that this book doesn't have a very strong plot or a very exciting one, but the alternating timeline just really added spice to it. I also enjoyed the different mystery elements of the book, such as like Rosa's medical condition, the past letters, the island itself. It is so mysterious. However, I also had some issues on how certain things were handled in the story, specifically the part where mental illness is involved. A very sensitive and important topic was opened by the author, and I was kind of expecting that she would somehow break the stigma surrounding it, but it just didn't happen, and I was left hanging by the end of the book. Overall, this was a really nice read, and I still recommend it to contemporary and YA readers. So, last book that I have read in January is definitely my favorite one among these three. It is a nonfiction that I also started last year, but I wasn't able to finish it because reading stopped. But now I have finally done it. So, it is When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. This book was amazing. Oh my gosh. This memoir narrates the story of late Dr. Paul Kalanithi. He is a 36-year-old neurosurgeon who was diagnosed with terminal cancer. All throughout this book, he told his account of experiences as a doctor and as a patient as he was trying to answer the question, what makes life worth living? To be honest, I don't know how will I review this book because it moved me in ways that I cannot even think of. It was profound, it was reflective, unforgettable, and it was written so beautifully. This is the kind of read that will provoke your thoughts and perspectives about yourself, your dreams, relationships, even your pain and sufferings, and everything that goes between life and death. It made me sit down, stare into the universe, and think about how I live my own life and how do I really view death. Aside from all these existential ideas, I also enjoyed the way Dr. Kalanithi tried to tie the relationship between medicine and philosophy and how he was fascinated about the power of human mind. As someone who studies psychology and who loves philosophy, his ideas were incredible. I was stunned, I was amazed, I'm speechless. Needless to say, I bawled in tears in the last part of this book because the epilogue was actually written by his wife, Dr. Lucy Kalanithi, and it was raw and vulnerable that I ended up being emotional myself. So in conclusion, I truly, truly, truly love this book. This is probably my very first favorite read of the year, and I'm so happy about it. And to end this, let me share with you one of my favorite quotes from this book. It says here, Brains give rise to our ability to form relationships and make life meaningful. Sometimes they break. And that's it. We are done for this month's wrap up. Oh my gosh. I hope that you enjoyed this video and let me know if I should do something like this again the next time around or on my next wrap up or whatever. So, if you've reached this part, comment below what is your favorite read of January and let's talk in the comment section. I missed you guys. So, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you are always safe, you're always happy and healthy wherever you are, and just remember the world is yours for the reading. Bye, and see you on the next one.